Whenever you're good.
Now it's whenever I'm good, is it? Okay.
Well, it usually fucking is. It's usually you that's blowing me off.
Hello and welcome all in to the MO podcast. As always, you're here with me, Consummation,
and me a little bit late, Atreya.
Do you know what? I wasn't even going to mention it, but thank you for showing up today.
I think you were going to mention it. That's why I mentioned it first.
Fair enough.
I was fashionably late, okay?
Yep. I've been waiting since yesterday, but whatever.
Get over it.
Indeed, yes. Lee said quick as mended, so let's move on. So,
what you got for me this week?
Today, we are on our final can Atreya make me believe in the nonsense that she believes in. And today, it is a very famous story of The Exorcist.
Go for it. I'll see what I can do.
So, The Exorcist was a film. And that's all it was. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you all next week. No. So, The Exorcist, I don't know if many people know this, was actually based on a true story. Mm-hmm. Quote marks, true story.
It was true.
Yeah, of course it was, yeah. So this was based on the exorcism of a young boy back in the 40s. And he doesn't really have a name. Because obviously he was only, I think he was 13 at the time that this all happened, so they wanted to keep privacy, and all the church's records on this have been sealed and they will not be reopened. Apparently the guy is still alive and living his life today, or he was a few years ago, don't add it because 13 in 1949, maybe the maths don't add up, but anyway. But he goes by the name of Robbie Mannheim, which for a non-diplom is quite very specific, to be honest with you. So
it is. It's not like John Smith, is it?
Yeah. I mean, there are reports of him called Ronald Doe as well, but Ronald as well is quite, it's just not like John Doe. But,
yeah.
But all the priests that were involved in this referred to him as Robbie, so it's probably his name, really, because priests aren't going to keep in secrets, so. Really. And with this being about exorcisms and demons, as you all may know, I am recently qualified to talk about this. So you what?
I can't believe you actually took the course.
That's £34 I ever spent.
How long did it take you?
Well, when I signed up to it, they said, as soon as you complete this course, we'll send you your certificate out, or in 30 days' time, whichever one comes sooner. So, probably started it about 30 days ago, really.
Yeah, but how long did it take you, to complete? On an hourly basis? Did it take you 3 hours or 80 hours or what?
Oh, I mean, it was hard work. There was a lot of reading involved and praying and collecting relics from temples. But it probably took about 3 hours.
Is that it? Wow.
Yeah. And you get as many goes at the test as you want.
Wow.
Yeah. And some of the questions on the tests were name a famous demonologist.
No.
Yeah. Or name a famous demon. Wasn't.
I mean, how is that going to help you through an exorcism? Oh, if only Ed Warren were here.
Yes, well.
What, you mean you don't know shall we just do the power of Christ compels you shit? Yeah, just go for it.
In fairness, in their defense, they do have information on there about protection from demons, what you can do to protect yourselves from demons. Wearing an iron cross is protection. and using crystals can also help you as well. But there is a disclaimer that says, please don't try and summon demons in the part that tells you how to summon demons. So...
Wow. So it tells you how to do it and then just says, but don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, it does say first off, we're going to tell you how to do it, but please don't do it. So you get a salt circle, you sit inside it.
I was literally just about to ask, so how do you do it?
I forgot, it was a couple of days ago.
Well, you've got a diploma in demonology, but you cannot remember how to summon a demon.
Right, look, this is for educational purposes only. Let's see. No, that's protection. Summoning demons. So you need a black book.
Any black book, or just...
Apparently so. It just says a black book. A black book is said to contain instructions for communicating with spirits, angels, and demons.
Right.
But it doesn't tell you where you can pick them up.
Right, okay. Handy.
Yeah. You can have a sabbat, which is like a black mass kind of thing. It's quite interesting because it does go on about a witch's sabbat where they have sex with demons there.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean...
Do you think they last very long?
Demons?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I bet they're really good in bed.
I bet. I mean...
I bet they're kinky as fuck, but I bet they're good.
I bet they have volume.
Definitely. Thick.
Yeah. Like magma. Curses. They've got curses in there. Then it doesn't tell you any specific curse. It just says you can curse people. Ouija boards, standards, and possessed items.
Right. So we just need to take a trip to Zach's place.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's got under the possessed items. If the item was used as part of a violent death, e.g., a knife used in a stabbing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
How would you have that?
Stab someone. Clearly.
I know, but I mean, like, then you would be arrested and the knife would be taken off you. So then it would be locked in the evidence locker. So the only people really who should be summoning demons are police officers.
Yeah, I mean, but not if you stab someone well enough and then bury them.
True.
So there's that. It does actually say mirrors are portals, which I didn't realise. They're.
Oh yeah.
So you shouldn't have a mirror at the bottom of your bed.
Why?
Because demons can come in through the mirror and they'll climb up your bed.
But surely they could come in any mirror in your house and then just walk up the stairs.
Yeah, but you're most vulnerable when you're asleep.
Yeah, but they could still come through the mirror downstairs, walk up the stairs while you're asleep, and do whatever they were going to do then.
Look.
I'm just being logical.
Of course. Last week I may have agreed with that, but I'm sorry, I have to take the stance of our fellow demonologists here and say demons are real and mirrors are portals, and a demon will possess you.
Right.
If you use a mirror.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with it.
Yeah, so, glad we got that sorted. So, back on track. Robbie Mannheim was a 13-year-old child in 1949. He was a bit of an introvert, and apparently the only kind of friends he had were his family friends, and he was very fond of his Aunt Harriet. Now, Harriet taught Robbie about spiritualism and the occult, and they kind of whiled away the hours trying to contact spirits and kind of using a Ouija board. Just normal 13-year-old stuff, I suppose. After Aunt Harriet had passed away, Robbie was obviously distraught. He'd lost like his best friend, and he didn't feel that he could speak to his mother or father about the spiritualism and the occult that he had this connection with Harriet. And it was maybe just before, shortly after she died, there were strange occurrences and strange noises that started happening around Robbie's house. Dripping water was heard, but they called out the plumbers and there was no leaks, nothing was found, there was no taps leaking, anything like that. There was scratching on wood, heard sometimes between the walls and on the floorboards, but again they called out pest control. They couldn't find any mice, any infestation there.
At least they went through the normal portals this time instead of calling the priest first thing. Like, why don't we ring pest control first?
Yeah, they did. But after they did that, then they went straight to, it must be Aunt Harriet saying goodbye, which is a big leap of faith. I mean, fair enough. They've had a look and they've called out the experts and they've gone, nothing's wrong here. And then now they've just gone, Aunt Harriet must be. It's the only thing that it could be. Yeah, so it probably wasn't Aunt Harriet, but they kind of got off this idea one night when Robbie's bed started physically shaking violently and he was moved from one side of the room to the other while still in his bed. And they thought, oh, it's not Aunt Tilly, it's a malevolent demon. Again, quite a leap, but that's where they went. Now,
why did they? Why?
This is a question that I think would be asked a lot in most demonic possession cases. It's like, why do you not just no?
Yeah, I don't understand.
It's just one of that. The thing is, they weren't religious. They were both lapsed, so they weren't especially going to church every Sunday. Like, they didn't know. They weren't on regular terms with the priest, kind of thing. They didn't read the Bible or anything like that. They were lapsed, but they kind of went straight away to
Demons.
Gotta be a ghost, innit? Which is really weird. Now, what the family did after they've exhausted the plumber and the rat catcher is they contacted their local Lutheran minister, Reverend Miles Schultz, and he was a little bit in your camp. He was open to the fact that things exist beyond this normal world.
Because they do.
Yeah. And he was actually of the opinion that Robbie was being disturbed by a poltergeist.
Why can't they make their minds up whether it's a poltergeist or a demon, whether it's Aunt Harriet?
See, now, those of us who can speak with authority would actually say this would be the infestation stage of a possession.
All right, okay.
So it's one of the first 4 traits of demonic possession, obviously, and the infestation is kind of like the presence of evil. There's something untoward. There's a dark force. I mean, obviously, vexation is the next stage, which is physical attacks on the actual body it's trying to possess. Obsession would be the 3rd stage, which is mental attacks, where they start to hear voices, and when stuff flies across the room without anyone being near it, kind of thing. And obviously, the 4th one is actual possession, which is when it goes right up inside you and starts talking in weird voices and stuff. So you can have that. That's free. That
Thanks.
Piece of education for you. You know,
Cheers.
take that away.
I will. Might even do the course myself.
Feel free. You can have my login, I tell you. So, the Reverend, obviously, being a very upstanding member of the community, was he had his thoughts that this may just only happen to Robbie when he's in that house. So why doesn't Robbie come over and stay at my house?
Mm-hmm.
So some things never change in the Catholic Church, do they?
Wow.
Yeah. So the good reverend, set up a mattress for Robbie in his own bedroom. And
Wow, that was good of him.
Robbie slept over.
Wow, what?
Yeah. I know. I mean, you can't be doing that.
You reckon?
You just can't. Even and why were the parents like, do you know what? We've not been to church for ages. We don't know you from Adam. But yes, take our young boy and let him stay in your bedroom.
Yep. Even though it's on his own mattress.
Yes. I mean, they did get some results. While Robbie was there, the mattress did shake. Take that however you want. But apparently the mattress started shaking. It flew under the reverend's bed and started jumping up and down under the bed, which caused cuts on Robbie's face.
Oh, God.
Now, if I hadn't been recently ordained as a demonology expert, what I would say there is that a young child stayed over at a priest's house. In the middle of the night, his mattress was shaking. He tried to fight back his attacker and got cuts on his face.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably what
It's dodgy as fuck.
the police report would say as well, I think. But Schultz passed him off to a local Catholic priest. It's getting worse now. Jesus. Oh, God. Being passed around like a blunt. Jesus.
Wow.
So he passed him over to Father Hughes, and apparently Father asked him to perform an exorcism. Now, you just can't perform an exorcism. You need permission to do it. It's a really big thing. So Schultz has gone from poltergeist to demon in, like, overnight, quite literally overnight on this one. Mm-hmm. And he's passed it over to Father Hughes, and Father Hughes contacted the bishop. Now, Father Hughes doesn't have a clue how to perform an exorcism, so he's probably hoping that the bishop goes, no, he's just a young child who's got severe mental issues. We need to get psychologists involved. And the bishop went, yeah, no, sort him out, do it. That'd be great. So, in late February 1949, Hughes took Robbie checked him into the Georgetown Hospital under a false name. And he tied Robbie to the bed. Here we go.
It just gets worse.
Priests.
Mm-hmm.
So he tied Robbie to the bed and basically started saying prayers over the child. Now, an exorcism, it is one prayer, but you've got to keep repeating it over and over again. A lot of people, especially around about this time, priests, it wasn't something that was taught how to do an exorcism. Which, for me, is a little bit weird, because surely if you believe in God, then you obviously believe in the devil, because it's in the Bible, and therefore you have belief of demons.
Yeah.
And then if you're fighting against this evil, that's the devil and demons, why would you lose that knowledge?
True.
I just don't understand, like around about this time, I think in America there was, well, certainly in the 50s and 60s, there was only about 10 priests that had authority that could perform an exorcism. Nowadays, it's up to like 200 priests all over America. So they've started doing more education on it, but I just don't understand how you don't have... You're there to protect from the devil, and then when he turns up, you go, oh, fuck, I don't know how to deal with this.
Do you think they just kind of kept it hush-hush, like the knowledge, because of like bragging rights?
Yeah, I just think they were busy concentrating on other things.
Or that.
Yeah, and then, yeah, that's it. That's all I can say, to be honest with you. I don't think a lot of priests are there to help the community. I think they're there to help themselves to whatever comes across them. Now,
did it say in your course it was okay to think that way?
Well, obviously, I mean, I know that's kind of like a blanket statement, and there are priests that go out on missionary work and do everything great and that, but there are a lot of rapist paedophiles there as well. So,
don't mince your words, Aunt. Just say it like it is.
Swings and roundabouts, innit? Well, Cardinal George Pell, you see, he was in the Vatican, wasn't he? And he was still diddling. So,
wow.
Anyway. May have digressed a little there.
A little.
Just so it's clear, I was never touched as a child. Just want to make that clear. Just hate priests.
You're touched as an adult.
Well, not enough, I'll tell you that.
Not in a good way.
So Hughes is there and he's doing this exorcism, he's saying prayers, and basically it just didn't work because Robbie got really pissed off, broke free of his restraints, took a bed spring, and cut the priest from shoulder to wrist.
Oof.
So that kind of fucked up. And around about this time as well, there was strange, I'm going to say markings, but his mother thought they were words. And one day, this marking appeared on Robbie's body, and it said the word Lewis. So straight away, she went, we need to move to St. Louis.
Wow, that's a bit of a jump there.
A lot of people in this story just make incredible leaps of faith with what's going on here. I mean, uproot the family, move across the country to go to St. Louis. I mean, they did have family there, so they had somewhere to stay. I think it was their father's brother lived there. So, I mean, they didn't just rock up and just start living on the streets or squatting or whatever. They had somewhere to go. And they moved to a quiet suburb called Belnor, which is just outside the city of St. Louis. And unfortunately, the demon followed them.
Did they not think maybe the demon was called Lewis?
Do you know what? That was my first thought when I heard that. I was like, "What? Why would you not go looking for someone called Lewis?
Yeah.
Rather than go St. Louis.
Yeah,
that'd be the furthest thing on my mind.
Yeah. That was a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, it's
a bit nuts.
So
really.
Maybe, yeah. But they moved there. And the demon moved with them as well. I don't know if he carried all his stuff in a bindle or whether he had a carry-on. I don't know, but he turned up with them. And there was instances of chairs falling. On one occasion, a bookcase moved across the room, and it was all pretty freaky. Obviously, imagine if you're like the brother-in-law or a brother and this comes into your house and you're like, what are you doing? Why have you brought this? What's going on here?
You'd be fuming, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd like, yeah, you can stay, but I didn't say you could bring the demon. So now Robbie's cousin was a student at St. Louis University, which is a Jesuit institution. Jesuits are part of the Catholic Church. So there was lots of priests there who were lecturers. It's a big theology place. It's a big, one of them places.
What a waste of a degree.
Yeah, she reached out to one of her lecturers, a Raymond Bishop. He wasn't a bishop, though. He was just Raymond Bishop.
His last name.
Yeah, ironic. And who in turn contacted Father William Bowden. And they both went round to have a look, see what's going on with Robbie. And apparently after witnessing some incidents, Father Bowden speaks to the bishop, not Raymond Bishop, but the bishop, about an exorcism. And the bishop says, yeah, why not? They seem quite free and abandoned, these bishops, to give permission.
That's
rather than go, have you not called in a doctor? Do you know?
Yeah, like, for all, they're all like, you have to have permission before you can perform an exorcism. And then you're like, well, can I have permission? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't even need to come in and ask. We can just give it you over the phone. It's all right. Don't worry. It's not a big thing. But you need permission. So Father Bowden didn't have any experience of doing this exorcisms, so he actually went into the vaults and started looking up historical exorcisms, and he took a lot of notes from the case of Emma Schmidt, the Anna Eklund case, which is an interesting case, but yeah, which we may get onto another time.
Oh, okay.
But Bishop I'm getting confused over all the bishops now. It's really fucking annoying. Maybe that's my notes rather than the amount of bishops that we've got. So Raymond Bishop, Father Bowden, and a scholastic scholar called Walter Halloran visited Robbie throughout March and into April. They were performing the prayers of exorcism on him, try to get this demon out. Now, Bishop wrote in his diary on the 18th of March, the prayers of the exorcism were continued, and Robbie was seized violently, so he began to struggle with his pillow and the bed clothing. The arms, legs, and head of Robbie had to be held by 3 men. The contortions revealed physical strength beyond natural power. Robbie spat in the faces of those who held him and at those who prayed over him. He spat at relics and at the priest's hands. He writhed under the sprinkling of holy water. He fought and screamed in a diabolical high-pitched voice.
Well, I mean, they were tying him down and shouting crap at him.
Yeah, and he's 13.
Well.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I did actually read was he was very accurate with his spitting.
I love it.
So, well done, Robbie. On another occasion during an exorcism, Robbie punched Halloran in the face. So, typical brat. Mm-hmm. And on another occasion, he punched one of the priests in the nuts.
That's the place I would be going for first.
Yeah. It's just like direct hit. He's just maybe he's just an angry little child, that's all.
It certainly sounds that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. He during the day though, Robbie seemed quite at peace. He seemed to be just doing normal teenage stuff, like not punching people in bollocks, obviously, but normal good teenage stuff. And it was only at night where he'd fuck about and go mad. The priests during this period, over this month period, got no positive results. So, again, priests are going to priest, and they went, why don't we just move him away from his parents and adults that can watch over him, and we'll take care of him. And they moved him to quite a few places, to be honest. He was at the seminary on St. Louis University, but he actually ended up in the Alexian Brothers Hospital. Now, here apparently is where Robbie's stomach distended so badly and the gas he produced was so noxious that they had to open all the windows. And now again, 13-year-old kid.
He was just full of farts.
They stink. They stink. On Easter Monday, which was April the 18th, Bowden woke Robbie early and told him they were going to take Mass. Robbie started to contort and the demon mocked Bowden by saying, "He has to say one more word, one little word, I mean one big word. He'll never say it. I'm always in him." Move on.
Wow.
Move on. "I may not have much power always, but I am in him." Keep going. "He will never say that word." Father Bowden continued to say prayers over Robbie all this Easter Monday, and Robbie was just spitting and contorting and pretty much cursing up the place.
He was probably bored.
Yeah, I mean, he's been tied to all these fucking beds and had priests prod him. Do you know what I mean?
Like, for days.
Yeah. So, soon after, during this time, Bowden tried to force a crucifix into his hand, and Robbie broke free of two priests that were restraining him, threw the crucifix across the room, and a different male voice emanating from Robbie said, "Satan, Satan, I am St. Michael, and I command you, Satan, and the other evil spirits to leave the body in the name of Dominus immediately. Now, now, now."
Right, okay.
Moments later, Robbie woke up, and the boy told the priests he's gone, telling them that he had a dream of St. Michael, the archangel, and in this dream, St. Michael came down from heaven and started battling the devil and all these demons, and he won. Now. Yeah.
What, I mean, what do you want me to do with that, okay? I can't... How am I supposed to prove anything to you when you give me stuff like this?
Look, these are just the facts of the case.
I can't. Sorry.
No, yeah, you can't do anything with facts. I mean, I know that. I completely understand that. Your lot likes made up stuff.
Even my lot can't back this.
Yeah. It's a weird one. There were points during his exorcism when Robbie apparently would start speaking in Latin and French and languages he had no knowledge of, apparently. Halloran, who was there, said that he didn't actually put a coherent sentence together. He thought that he was just mimicking other priests that he'd heard speaking these languages.
Or, like when people do when people put pretend accents on, and it makes it sound like, that they know French or Spanish or Chinese, but the words are just totally made up.
Yeah.
It's just
mon Dieu, sacre bleu.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe he was just doing that, and none of them could speak fucking Latin or French or whatever either, and they were just like, "Oh my god, he's speaking French and Latin. Really? What's he saying? I don't fucking know. I can't speak Latin."
I don't know. It just sounds like it, doesn't it? Jesus. Yeah, I mean, he always said, Halloran had said he'd never heard the boy's voice change. He'd never heard him speak in any other voice than his normal voice. There was no demon voices. Father Bowden did go on to say that it was the realist. He believed it was a demonic possession. He was under the assumption that was the only thing it could be. I mean, the Archdiocese of St. Louis did receive a formal formal report. They decided it was not diabolical possession. It was just something a bit meh. They didn't they didn't go any further on that. Just to say, it's a bit supernatural. They've closed the matter and they've put it under the papal seal. It'll never be opened because from their point of view, the case is closed. There's nothing more to say in it. So done. Which is, I mean, that's probably how the church deals with most stuff. I suppose. Really, no,
Yeah.
nothing.
Put it away
We've
in
seen
a locked
nothing
drawer
wrong.
and forget about it.
Yeah, we've seen nothing wrong. So what we say matters. So
Yeah,
fuck you, all you choir boys.
quite literally.
Well, yeah, Jesus. Oh God.
No, I don't think Jesus did it. I think
No.
it's just the
Oh God.
priests. Oh God.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's anyway. An author called Mark Opasnak wrote the Cold Hard Facts, and this was the cold hard facts behind the story that inspired The Exorcist. Now, he went and did some investigation. He went and spoke to Robbie's childhood friends and his family, which is a bit weird considering Robbie's real name was never released. So he just went to speak to some people in a town somewhere, basically. But he did claim that Robbie was a spoiled, disturbed bully who threw deliberate tantrums to get attention or to get out of school. And after speaking to neighbours and childhood friends, he concluded that the boy had been a very clever trickster who had pulled pranks to frighten his mother and to fool children in the neighbourhood.
That sounds accurate.
So he was just saying, well, he's a dick, isn't he?
He's a little shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go with that.
Yeah. I mean, this story and the way it was reported by the priests that were there was a diary that was kept by one of the priests, and normally exorcisms and stuff like that are done in secrecy. The least people that know about it is the better. But the bishop explicitly told Bowden to keep a diary just so they could go on and maybe train people in the future. And apparently this was just found left in a drawer by some construction guys. So, yeah.
They were really thinking about training for the future.
Yeah, exactly. They just went, yeah, that diary, just leave it in that drawer, along with that fucking report that we've got, and then lock it away.
And then all the takeaway menus.
Yeah.
Stick it in the takeaway menu drawer.
And that ladle that can make so you can't open it. Stop! Oh, bloody hell. The guy who wrote The Exorcist, was it Peter Benchley? I don't think it was. That's the wrote Jaws. William Blakely. He actually went to St. Louis University around about the time that this was happening. So this is where he got his inspiration for The Exorcist from. And, I mean, I don't really think he was possessed. I don't think.
I also would agree with that. I think he was just
possessed.
a little shit who had mental issues, maybe some form of ADHD, I don't really know, but at the end of the day, he was just a kid that was working his ticket, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. He was. I think he played the game there with his parents. But then you've got to think on the flip side of it. Great, he's getting out of school, but then he's got to hang around with priests, and this lasted from February to April for 2 months. That he's like hanging around with priests. I mean, is that a sacrifice to get out of school?
I would. I really hated school, so yeah, I would do it. But then again, I suppose it's like a double-edged sword, isn't it? Like, you get out of school, but then you're tied to a bed and shouted at in,
Yeah, but
like
then
priests for
Yeah.
days on end.
and you're punching them in the dick every now and then. So and spitting in the faces. So
Yeah, but you could do that at school.
you probably could, but I mean, I don't really think there were very many repercussions for him when he was doing it
To the priest.
as a possessed person. Whereas if you just walk up to a priest in the street and spit in the face, I mean, it's not cool. Don't do that.
I'm sure it happens, but yeah.
I'm pretty much very sure that does happen, but
But I would expect them to probably punch me or something.
yeah, well,
Although it's
priests,
not very godlike, is it?
exactly. But yeah, I don't think there's anything there really.
You've done it again.
I mean, it's been a terrible, terrible month for you, to be honest.
You did it deliberately.
No, on paper, all these 4 have looked reasonable.
Did you just not read them aloud? Is that what this was all about? You just didn't read them aloud because when you read them aloud, even my lot would say, "What a load of shite."
Look, right, I just see something and go, oh, that looks good, and then just do research on it. I don't read it through first time. Just go, oh, that seems interesting.
That seems to be your downfall.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not my downfall. There's no such thing as demons and ghouls and ghosts.
Well, there is. You just pick up the wrong fucking stories.
Okay. It's not.
There is.
It's not.
Keep your shame a day to yourself.
Yeah. Well, great minds think alike.
I do
All I'm
like
going to
shame.
say. But yeah, so sorry, you failed
Again.
But yeah, that was the story that inspired The Exorcist. And as always, this has been the MO podcast with me, Consummation Sant.
And me, Atreya.
Thank you all so much for joining us. And we shall see you next time when normal service has been resumed and we won't be talking about made up stuff.
And it'll be something believable.
Something true that happened.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. See you later.
Bye.
The MO Podcast. The MO Podcast. The MO Podcast.